Are you tired of watching shows that only give you general social media theory and expect you to figure out how to apply it to your own industry? Join us for this week's episode of Social Chatter, the industry's longest-running social media marketing news talk show. Not only will you learn the latest breaking news, but you'll also gain practical advice on how to apply it. Now here's your host, Christian Karasevich.
Welcome everyone to Social Chatter, your weekly social media marketing news talk show. This is, I have to check here, episode 215 with myself, Phil Gerbyshak, and guest Chrys. And we've got a fantastic show for you this week. Lots of news to talk about. We're going to talk a lot about Facebook. We've got some LinkedIn updates, some Pinterest updates as well, if we get time. And then we're going to talk about some fantastic new tools and actually have Chrys share some messenger tips. So if you're using like chatbots, things like that, or interested in chatbots, this is definitely a show you want to stick around for. For those of you watching on our Facebook page, facebook.com/socialchefs, thanks a lot for watching there. Do us a favor, again, hit the share button. If you have friends you want to bring on, or just tag them in the comments by typing the @ and entering their name. And also if you're over on YouTube, youtube.com/socialchefs, we're also broadcasting there as well. But I am looking forward to this week's show. So I'm going to bring on Phil, do a couple things backstage, and we're going to kick things off. So Phil, how are you doing this week?
What's up, Christian? Another great week, man. I'm super jacked to be here. It is good to see you, my friend.
You too, man. Definitely. So who do we have this week on the show? Who's our guest?
Yeah, so this week we've got Chrys. Chrys is fantastic, knows more about messenger bots than I'll ever even dream of knowing. So Chrys works with high-ticket service-based businesses looking to get more leads, more return customers, offer faster customer support, and then get this, sell products and services on autopilot. So this is really interesting. Chrys is the founder of a messenger marketing agency and the host of the Hack Your Online Business podcast. Chrys is a speaker and trainer, spoken at conferences like Social Media Day Houston, and funny enough, was the kid that sold football cards in school, the teenager that ran a small t-shirt printing business, the adult that started 2 startups, and now working with these high-ticket service professionals. So super excited to talk to Chrys, to learn some insights. What's up, Chrys?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Fantastic.
So glad you're here. Woohoo!
Super excited, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Heck yeah.
So I'm going to do a couple things behind the scenes, but I don't know if...
So let's start, Chrys, let's start with some messenger stuff. So I got to hear this, right? Autopilot your business. This is really interesting. I mean, do people actually respond to those chatbots? They usually come off like really bad dating sites.
I just love this. Have you guys ever tried a messenger bot? I just want to know. Have you guys tried it before?
A little bit, right?
So it's, the funny thing is actually the engagement rate on messenger bots, whether that's on Facebook, it's way, way higher than it is on any other marketing channel right now. So, and I think the reason why is because it's so intuitive, right? Like you're so used to sending messages, you're so used to replying, you're so used to doing like taking an action. Whereas like on email, it's just like, okay, I read it and I either save it or I trash it. Right? I don't ever reply to those emails, right? Whereas, with a bot on Messenger, it's just like, okay, so they're asking me a question, like I'm gonna hit this button, I'm gonna hit that button, I'm gonna say yes, I'm gonna say no, right? So intuitive. And so I think that's the whole charm about a messenger bot. It really is so intuitive. You're really talking to them in a marketing channel that, they're just so used to just replying. I think that's why it's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, the question, I think you made some really good points there, though, that folks need to hear, and that is the yes-no nature of it. We're not trying to start a conversation here. We're trying to provide information for people that are likely already interested in the product or service that we have. This is not, or is it cold traffic, Chrys? Did I misunderstand you?
No, it can be cold traffic, it can be warm traffic. So here's the thing, right? You can run Facebook ads to your bot and get them to go through, that's cold traffic coming in. Well, you can also, run your, send your email subscribers, the people who already know, like, and trust you to your bot as well. So the bot can actually be used for multiple purposes, not just for customer service, not just for lead generation. It can be used for, just warming up the audience, getting them through the bot, going through a quiz inside the bot, going through a contest inside the bot, going through a survey. There's so many things you can do with bot. It's really just mind blowing. A lot of people have this misconception that it's just meant for either customer service or blasting out news and blasting out promos, and that's absolutely not true. So there's a lot of things you can do.
Interesting. I like the idea of a quiz. I think that's a great way to learn more as well as to interact more.
Absolutely.
And certainly can be automated, because then, we can figure out where the end of that quiz is, right? An answer, maybe an aggregate, and now provide them with a different landing page or different information based on how they answer. So that's really smart, Chrys. Any don'ts, any big gotchas that we want to make sure we don't do with bots before we get started?
Yeah, I think you should not be a spammy marketer. I think that's like the number one thing. I just love how we all just, like, us marketers, sometimes we just destroy the marketing channel just because we just don't take enough time to learn the rules and regulations and learn what's best for the customers. Do they really, really want to receive a message from you every single day talking about the same damn t-shirt? No, they don't. Or the same damn course. They don't, right? So you just got to put yourself in the shoes of your customer and ask yourself, like, do they really want to be spammed? And of course, Facebook being Facebook, they do have rules and regulations to kind of keep things in check. So if you decide to go against, Facebook's terms of services, then you will run the risk of getting yourself banned on Facebook. So just got to remember that. I mean, there are a lot of things you can do. So just understand the strategy, understand the marketing channel. This is not email marketing. The way we talk to our customers on a bot is not the same as, the way we'll talk to someone on, email. So just kind of learn these nuances and you'll be fine.
Awesome. Fantastic.
And I would say this, by the way, Phil, I'd say this about bots. I mean, so Chrys asked the question, have we used bots or do we use them? And I would say, yes, I use them. I will say this, there's a lot of, there are some very good ones. I've even come across some well-known companies. I'm not going to name who these companies are. They spam the heck out of me. I mean, I signed up for their messenger bot just to start, and I've probably gotten 50 to 100 messages from them probably now. And it's just constant, it's very irritating. And so to me, that's a huge turnoff, and so, like, just because somebody gives you an email address or somebody allows you to tap into them, via the messenger bots, it does not give you have to keep this in mind as a business owner. It does not give you permission to just, like, spam the heck out of them and just send them a whole bunch of stuff. Be very meaningful with, like, what you send them, because if you send them too much stuff, you're going to irritate them to the point where they're not going to want to have anything to do with your business if you're just sending them a whole bunch of things just because you can. Fantastic tips you shared there, by the way.
Yeah, it's all about relationship marketing, isn't it? Like, you're building a relationship.
Yeah. And it's so funny, right? That's just like any other channel. It's just done a little bit differently. So that's good stuff. Chrys, we're going to come back to you and ask you some more stuff about the bots probably at the end. But Christian, let's get this party started.
Let's do it. Yes. And a happy Halloween, everyone. It's Halloween today. So if you celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween. So, Phil, where do we want to start?
Oh my gosh, so many good places we could start, but let's start with a little bit of Facebook. So, Christian, let's talk about, Facebook and you want to do the responsive ads or the news tab? Which one?
Let's talk about the responsive ads, actually. Let's do that, and then we'll move into some other topics.
Awesome. Let's do that one. So cool. So advertisers now can create several versions of the ad copy with headline and description right at the ad level. So you can almost A/B test now before you even A/B test, which is really fantastic, right? Multiple text optimization is really fantastic. This means when you pay for your ads, you should pay for multiple versions of this ad right away out of the gate so that you can see what works, what doesn't, and swap stuff out much faster than, oh boy, I got to wait 90 impressions, 200 impressions, 500 impressions, real-time optimization. So, Chrys, I know you're mostly Messenger, but are you going to play with this?
I definitely am going to play with this. And I think it's great because I think it really helps people as well who are just getting into the Facebook ads game, right? So they're new to it. They might not have the knowledge that, a Facebook ad marketer would understand about all these testing. So this is going to be so much better for those who are just starting to get into the game and they're trying it out and they're like, oh, this is a great feature for them.
Awesome. Christian, what about you, buddy?
I will say this is a very useful feature. I think the one thing we want to make sure that we let viewers know, and that's the fact that these ads, they're called Facebook responsive ads. They're a feature that Google also has launched. They launched that last year. And it might also be called multiple text optimization. That's basically what Facebook calls it. But they are different than running an A/B split test. These are applying to the headlines, the description of your ads. There are ways for you to put multiple pieces of text into your ad and, basically have AI figure out what actually works best for your viewers and people who are seeing your ads. where they differ from the A/B split test side, and those are geared more towards, hey, I want to run 2 different ads with a different image, for example, or a different placement or things like that. So this feature is mainly geared towards the text and the link side of things.
For now. Now, right? That's the cool thing, right? Facebook always rolls out the easiest version first and then iterates to make it even better second.
Yeah.
So this is big news, folks. Get ready to write some headlines, to write some text, and to rock some socks, because this has great opportunity for you if you are advertising on Facebook. And you should be.
I would say this as a business, the other thing you have to keep in mind with having Facebook responsive ads, basically, is the fact that it's just like social media. There's no silver bullet, no one technique that you're going to do or that you're going to implement that is going to make your business run. What works for one business does not necessarily work for another one. So, if you see ads that you like, maybe take a screenshot, save that ad, maybe in a folder on your desktop, and then that way you can go back when you're getting ready to run your ads and run a variation of that ad if you find some text that you really like.
Absolutely. Great point. So cool. So Chrys, any last thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic?
No, I'm just really excited to try it out. I Facebook always, release new stuff, and I really want to try it out and see if it works great or not.
Awesome.
So by the way, Phil, as we transition to the next topic, the other thing to keep in mind with this, by the way, is that it's rolling out over the next several weeks within Facebook Ads Manager. So if you go into Facebook, to run your ads and you don't see this, don't worry, it will be rolling out very soon.
Yeah, coming soon, right? That's always the great reminder for all of this goodness is Facebook slow rolls this out. We try to get ahead of it for you to make sure that you can use this, prepare yourself, get your business ready to do some better Facebook marketing, to do some better marketing in general. So great point, Christian. Great point. So cool. So pull up the other Facebook one, bud. Let's stay on Facebook for now.
Yeah, so let's talk Facebook. So let's talk about this new news tab here.
Yeah.
So what do we have going on here, by the way?
So this is interesting, right? The company is paying publishers for their work. And so that means instead of us having to buy a subscription to the Wall Street Journal, now potentially we can get that right on Facebook, and Facebook is paying them, which basically the goal then is that Facebook then is going to put advertising in, because we know that, companies, news sources, whatever, are typically they're trying to drive you off the platform for their own advertising. Now Facebook's going to pay you for it, basically making some arbitrage here and saying in the aggregate, I probably have more ads than I can do. So Facebook really just wants another place to do this. But my guess is they're going to roll a news tab out for all blogs. So we're eventually going to see anything with an RSS feed. I would guess you're going to be able to add an RSS feed, and potentially, if you get enough people to subscribe, you might be able to monetize it too as a business. So I don't know. Chrys, what do you think about this?
As a user, how they came out with all these new little tabs at the bottom, I didn't even realize they existed until much later. Everyone's it was on the news and everything. And it was just the other day, I was just like, oh, what's this thing? And I was like, oh my God, it's been on my freaking, phone for so long and I didn't even see it. I didn't even click on it, right? I'm just like, so I don't know if it's, a new Facebook news tab, will people actually click on it? That's what I'm wondering. Will people actually see it and click on it? Will they engage with it? Because the hope is they will click on that tab, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point. To that point, I know a lot of people still don't even realize that Facebook stories exist, which is hilarious, right? They're like, what's this? So folks, it's interesting, right? We were banner blind on the top before. Now we're stories blind on the top and likely on the bottom as well. So what that means is you need to educate your consumers as far as what you want them to do. You need to think about the action you want them to take. You can't just assume that just because the UX is there, that it's useful UX. You have to help engage that. So Christian, what are you thinking about this, buddy?
I think for starters, I look at it and say hey, who is actually going to use this? Are people going to go to Facebook and trust that Facebook is the news source? They're providing a very reliable service because, for example, right now they're doing, the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and BuzzFeed. Those are their main sources, among a few others. So I don't know how many people are actually going to go use this. And then to Chris's point, they might not even know it's there because, with Facebook, they add so many new features that they kind of do get buried after a while. Now, the other flip side of this is, the one thing they have going for them is Apple has Apple News, their news service, so we've got other companies also doing the same thing. In this case, Facebook's offering it for free. Apple's rolling out as a service that people have to pay for. So I think that, again, if you can get your site in the news section, I think it's good for you, because also then the customer who is viewing this, they can actually go in and personalize it to their liking. So they can remove certain subjects, they can remove certain sites. So it becomes, just the content they normally want to read.
Yeah, so, I think that the answer to that is maybe, right? So we know Facebook is doing this likely to snuff out Apple News. That being said, unless they roll this out as a separate app, to me, Chrys made a great point there. People are blind to this stuff. They don't see it. They're not clicking on the bottom they're not clicking on the bottom. They're not clicking on the top. I mean, every time Facebook moves stuff around, the first week we see, holy crap, usage spikes. It's because people clicked it on accident, you idiots. Mm-hmm. It's not because it's a great tool, right? So don't be fooled by the first months. And of course, Facebook will likely lie and bloat this up and say that billions of people use this, even though there's 12 of them that actually used it, including the 3 of us who have now tested each 5 times, right? That's the challenge here. Zuckerberg is a liar. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I don't know. Chrys, final thoughts here on this one?
Well, I'm excited to check it out. And I'm just kind of curious as well, is it meant for, what kind of companies can actually apply for, for the news? Is it only...
Well, it's invite only now, right? Yeah. Invite only now, but long term, right? I think news will be subjective. Mm-hmm. So likely we'll just see those that kiss Zuckerberg's ass that will be invited to the platform. And then eventually, it'll be whoever pays Zuckerberg to be on the platform. And then maybe eventually the 3 of us will get access to it. That's usually how Facebook works. There we go. Publisher guidelines. So Playboy, not going to be advertised there. Mm-hmm. You have
to have a large audience, a sufficiently large audience. Obviously, they don't tell you the numbers. Yeah. You do have to also, you're forbidden from posting misinformation, hate speech, other violations of obviously Facebook's community standards.
Unless you pay for advertising, then you can totally lie. Let's be clear, right? So, and we'll get into that in just a minute here, but Facebook is notorious for doing whatever makes Facebook money. Mark Zuckerberg is a whore and will sell his soul to the devil, including his mother's soul and the soul of all of his unborn children. So, yeah.
And
that's
obviously,
what I think.
Yeah. So, Facebook, the Facebook News tab, bottom line, it's started to roll out to some people. Again, the content's going to be sort of skewed at the moment. Until people jump on to pay for it, until Facebook starts to pay for some of those companies. By the way, the one good thing, I guess, is this is a win for like the Wall Street Journal. What is it? Ads Week, I think it is. A couple other sites like that. A lot of the sites that put a paywall up, this is a win for them because, hey, they're having a hard time, obviously, selling subscriptions because people get the content from some other site. So now they can get paid for it. They don't have to actually try to do that paywall, I think.
Do you really think that Facebook's going to pay them a fair wage? Come on,
probably not fair.
Let's be honest. But it's not even really close, right? So So instead of getting 12 cents for their clicks, now they're going to get 3, but they're going to get 3. So now they're only going to lose 3 cents on the dollar instead of 12 cents. Come on, no. I don't think this is a win for anybody but for Facebook, and I think it's fascinating. Any company that is willing to sell their soul to give Facebook access, I got to tell you, if I was a newspaper, there's not a chance Facebook would get it. I would stick with my community and focus on better writing and better content and better journalism. Frankly, the New York Times is doing just fine. The Washington Post is doing just fine. It's better quality, not better distribution through free channels.
Right. And to that point that you just said there, the other thing is, having it's news, for example. So having other things that are going to keep your audience engaged coming back to your site, you can make it happen if you build a community. And I think, Chrys, you said this earlier when we kicked things off. You said, it's about building relationships, and you're absolutely right. It's about building relationships with customers, not just like, hey guys, go check out my stuff, and expecting people just because I'm this big company, people are going to go check it out. If you engage with your audience, let them get to know you. For example, most news sites, they don't do that. If they make a little small switch in their business, I think they could definitely get something out of it. So, any last thoughts on this, Chrys?
No, I'm good.
All good? Okay, Phil, let's switch gears. Where do you want to switch?
Let's switch gears. But before we do, we got a lot more to say about this, folks. If you want to make sure you catch this, make sure you go to socialchefs.com/daily. Get all the stuff that's fit to print and a lot of the stuff that isn't. We can't talk about everything every week, but we do talk about 3 or 4 topics. We talk about a couple of tools, and we have a great guest every single week. And Christian spaces this out so you can get the best, most actionable stuff. Again, it's at socialchefs.com/daily. Really good stuff there. It comes out It's actionable stuff. Check it out every single day. So where are we going to go? Well, let's go to LinkedIn, and then we're going to close with Twitter, because I think the Twitter conversation now that, especially now that something came out last night, I'm going to bring up in the Twitter conversation. So with LinkedIn, right, they introduced this complete guide for their marketing partners, which I think is really, really fantastic. This allows you to connect your company with a good partner to reach the objectives that you have. Now, this is interesting, right? Today, 1 in 5 marketers on LinkedIn work with a partner to execute on their marketing strategy, including all of their top 50 advertisers. So lots of stuff in here, lots of different ways to make this work. Reid Hoffman says, no matter how brilliant your mind or strategy, if you're playing a solo game, you'll always lose out to a team. So Chrys, as someone who runs an agency, as someone who has this insight, what do you think about LinkedIn rolling out their guide to marketing partners?
I just love it. Because so when you guys sent over the link and I had a chance to check it out, I was like, finally, damn, we've been using LinkedIn for a while now. And, it's so awesome when they realize that we need, some kind of resource to really just kind of blow up, on LinkedIn and get, just get better at LinkedIn. So I'm really excited with this resource that they've created. I think it's great for the community. I think it's great for businesses as well. Having this resource in hand and looking through it and getting inspired. And I think, it's just a great resource and a great initiative.
Awesome. Christian, did you look through this? You got it up there. This is the whole guide.
I've looked through a little bit of it. Yeah. I think that overall, this needs to happen more from a lot of these companies. For example, your LinkedIn's, your Facebook's, your Twitter's, they need to start publishing more guides from their company to get this out to their customers. You can rely on other people to do the teaching and the training for you, but they're not going to always be 100% up on it. They have the information to go off of that they can read in front of them. So I like to see more of these being published, definitely. And, this is a quick guide. It's 14 pages, super easy. It's a PDF you can download, talking about the marketing partners program, the different types, so you can pick the right places, obviously community management, things that you already are probably aware of. But this is a very useful guide, a quick read as well. So I think that's definitely something to tap into. And also, by the way, they do a really good comparison, by the way, of the top community management partners as well, based on their functionality. And you probably know some of these. And we've talked about Hootsuite before. We talked about Buffer. We talked about Sprout Social. Obviously, if you go higher up, your Salesforce Social Studio. So definitely a useful guide to check out. And
why is Agorapulse not on there?
I'm surprised at that. Yeah,
I mean, that's honestly, that's the only tool that I would use. That is the only tool that I use for managing my guess is likely LinkedIn. In the alphabet, they skipped right to the B's and went to Buffer. I think that's what happened there. Clearly an oversight, because Agorapulse is a great tool. Yeah,
fantastic tool. So that's what we use. So Chrys, what do you think? Any thoughts on this guide? How can people get the most from this, you think?
I think if you're planning on using LinkedIn, I think you got to go check it out. And I think if you're in the marketing space, download it. It's like, it's free. It's 14 pages, right? I mean, it doesn't take you much time to go through it.
No, not at all. Phil, anything else you want to say about this program, the LinkedIn Marketing Partners program?
Well, my hope is that this isn't just a static guide, that this becomes a living document that continues to get updated once a quarter, once every couple quarters, right? Because here's the thing. LinkedIn is famous for putting out awesome guides that sadly die on the vine. And I'm not just picking on LinkedIn, right? A lot of these organizations do. This is a great idea. Please, LinkedIn, if you're listening to this, please make sure that you update this at least annually, hopefully more, right? As things change, I'd love to see this. In fact, I'd love to see you turn this into an infographic, because frankly, a PDF is pretty heavy, right? And I know that it's hard to keep that up. So you might want to consider making this an infographic that we can share, though. I guess if I did screenshots, I could use this as a nice slide share, right? Because it looks like it's split nicely in 50-50, except for these pages here. So that could be nice, right? I could see it on an Instagram carousel. I could see a lot of different things like this. Pull this out, put them on slides. A little text heavy though for slides, but could be helpful as an infographic. So good stuff though. Congratulations, LinkedIn. Thank you for doing what we all need.
Yes, and the other part I also thought that was very valuable with this is they've broken it down by the value for a marketer and for an agency. I think that's also key, because if you're looking to tap into obviously LinkedIn, you want to make sure you're taking it from the right angle. I mean, if you're an agency, you have certain ways you want to do things. If you're just a regular marketer, you don't necessarily have the team, for example, that the agency might have. You might run things very differently because obviously you have to scale the business. So that I think is a very important part to pay attention to. But again, 14-page document, download it, put it on your phone. If you're on iOS, for example, drop it in the Files app. Put it in preview, for example, and then this way you can read it whenever you need to, whenever you have the time. So,
I think you should print it out and hang it up in your bathroom stall so your whole marketing team reads it. That's my suggestion.
It's a good idea, actually. Very good.
It's only 14 pages. I'm serious, right? It's only 14 pages, right? Get your marketing team on the same page because if you're B2B, you need LinkedIn. Full stop.
Yeah, definitely. So anything else you want to add on this LinkedIn thing or LinkedIn Marketing Partners Program, or we want to move into
Let's move into the fun stuff. Yeah, let's move into this.
Okay.
So every week I slag on Jack Dorsey because I have found that Twitter stopped innovating about 1947. This week, I'm proud to say that Jack and the team have made the decision to stop all political advertising on Twitter globally. This is fantastic. Now, that being said, they did not stop politicians from being completely full of crap on the platform. They just stopped them from advertising on the platform. But I think this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. The fact that they can no longer put bullshit in front of anybody that they want to by advertising is a big stand for Twitter. And before we move into other stuff, let's stick on Twitter here. Chrys, what do you think about this?
I think this is great. So not being from the US, it's sometimes it amazes me with the whole political situation in your country. And I think this is great because I think it should, like with politics, it shouldn't be about who has the most money to buy the most number of reach and views, right? I just don't think that's the way it should be. And I'm just glad that Twitter has, I just love how you said they have not innovated since 1947, but it's just a great move. I just think it's a great move, and I hope that Facebook does it as well.
Yeah. What do you think, Christian?
I think this is a very good move. And the thing you have to keep in mind with most social media channels is that when one platform implements something, the other ones typically have to fall in line and follow suit. And despite the fact that like Facebook's kind of not taking the step, they're going to have to, I think.
Hold on. No, they're not. Last night, Sheryl Sandberg doubled down and said, free speech is free speech, which is total bullshit, Sheryl Sandberg. Total bullshit. You should be taking a stand as someone who is responsible, who started the Lean In movement, as someone who really people look to. You were supposed to be the adult in the kids section here on Facebook. You were supposed to be talking some sense into Zuckerface. And this is disappointing. Sheryl, what the hell are you actually thinking? So disappointing. So disappointing. This is not free speech. Free speech is not advertising. Advertising allows you to target and to get a message in front of people of your choosing. This is not free speech. This is all about a money grab for Facebook. Yep. So, Chrys, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm just I'm just hoping Facebook will actually implement a good change like this in their platform. But I don't know. It's like you said, Facebook's all about the money. Whoever can pay the most, get in front of their audience. So I'm not sure if Facebook will go down this route. Twitter, on the other hand, like Twitter hasn't been making a lot of money on Twitter ads. It's not like it honestly isn't. So I don't know with Facebook, honestly, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I think I'd love to see Facebook follow. Christian, to your point, I hope they do. I don't think they will. I think they're all about the Benjamins. I think after the political season is over and they've made $200 trillion, I think then they're going to take a stand and try to make a big deal about it. But until they make their money, I don't think there's a chance that Facebook actually does the right thing.
And you're probably right to that point. The toughest part about all of this is that, if they don't follow suit, for example, then I think it's going to bring even more scrutiny. It'll be like, well, hey, why are other platforms doing this and able to do this? And hey, your platform's not. It does make me wonder, whether, obviously I understand the motives, but, I think that it could bring more scrutiny, which also could then be a big detractor for like social media overall, is because then, people are like, well, hey, Facebook's not taking a stance on this. Well, why should all these other platforms so then that means people are going to stick to Facebook probably because, hey, they can run their political ads where Twitter obviously is not going to allow you to do it. So I think it's a bit of a slippery slope, but I think that there need to be some rules in place because, as Jack mentions here, I mean, you have a lot of power, especially when it comes to politics, to be able to tap into like the social media aspect and the advertising aspect. And as Chrys mentioned, it comes down to also how deep your pockets are for the most part, and I think that they just need to put some rules in place, be very strict on those rules, instead of letting people have so much influence as they do, because they've got a lot of money. So
this is to your point, slippery slope. Absolutely. Free speech, not advertising, right? You cannot lie, right? That's the interesting thing, right? You cannot lie. Full frickin' stop. And Facebook is allowing them to happen. We saw Elizabeth Warren ran a test last week that was total BS just to prove a point that Facebook will not take it down because it's not against their community standards. So whereas Google used to say, do no evil, Facebook's new mantra is, I am fucking evil and I'm going to get away with it. That's Facebook's motto. Yeah. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing on Facebook's part, especially Cheryl doubling down. Had a lot of respect for her. Much of that is gone now.
Yep. So we'll see what happens, but obviously I think we know where this is going to go. As a business, I mean, here's the thing. You have to still pay attention to where your audience is at. So just because Twitter is banning political ads, Facebook's allowing them. If your audience, if Twitter is your platform, you need to do some things to get your audience engaged. Maybe hold things like, tweet chats, for example, they work perfectly well. I mean, but do things to where your audience wants to actually engage with your content, because obviously now you can't really run some political ads to get around that. So if you have any suggestions also, by the way, if you're, for those who are watching, drop those in the comments on the platform you're on, or send us a tweet or connect with us on any of our social media channels at Social Chefs with your thoughts and your ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let us know what you think, folks. Hit us up on social media. Let us know we're all wet. Let us know that free speech means something that other than what it does. Whatever you want. We'd love to hear from you, though. Give us a shout. Hit us up. Send us an email. Tweet us. Facebook us. Instagram us. We're not TikToking much, but maybe we will. We'll see.
So,
dude, is it really time for tool time?
It is. Yes, it is time for tool time. Actually, yes.
Awesome. So hey, so folks, you pull up the graphic here. Chrys, it's time to dance. Do the tool time dance. Did Christian teach you the tool time dance? It's really important. So you put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the nope, that's wrong dance. Whatever it is, though, folks, it is time for tool time. This is when we talk about 2 tools that you can use to grow your business. Now, we test them out, so you don't need to. We've got all the coolest tools that you can use to grow your business. So with that, we could talk about a ton of stuff, but this week, instead, we're going to talk about 2 really good ones. So, Christian, come on back so we can see your face.
Where do you want to start, actually? Let's talk. Where do you want to start?
Oh, where do I want to start? That's a fantastic question. So let's start with Vidchops.
Okay, Vidchops. What do we got here?
Vidchops. So Vidchops is a very, very fascinating. You got pulled up. Fantastic. So Vidchops is about professional video editing. So it takes a big video and it chops it up. It slices it, dice. It's the slap chop of videos. That's what I'm saying, right? Linguine, fettuccine, martini, bikini. We've got Vidchops, right? Just call me Vince Offer. So, Chrys, do you chop up your videos? Do you think that a tool like this would be something you might be able to use?
So what I'm wondering right now, like, what are some of the case examples for Vidchops?
Yeah, so think about it, right? So this show, for instance, every segment could be chopped up, right? We could have first topic, second topic. We could have a little bit of the tool time, right? We could do any of that, or if you're doing a one-to-one interview, you could do that. Or if you've got a big, long video, you chop it up into little pieces. So I got a little on Instagram and then some on Instagram TV, right? So, Christian, what are some other case studies? What do you think?
Well, so I'd say the other thing to also keep in mind here is this tool is geared to people who they want to tap into the video marketing side of things. Everybody's saying, hey, you need to create video for your business, but they don't have the skills to actually do the video editing themselves. Basically, what they can do is they can pay Vidchops a monthly subscription service, and they will do editing on your videos. So they'll actually create the videos for you with access to royalty-free images and audio, and give you a video. And I think this saves you a ton of time. You can chop up a 30-minute video up to 30 minutes. They don't do voiceovers, they don't do animations, but I do have on screen here quite a few examples here. You'll probably see a couple of people. I think this is Brian Johnson here, maybe. Who else do we have here? I know Owen. We've had Owen Video on here as well, on the show as well. But that is what the tool does. So it's pretty slick. So let me see if I can pull up an example here. I don't know what this is going to pull up. Okay, so we've got a YouTube video. Let's play this quick little demo. So this is just a sample of something they've done.
Yeah, so basically it takes a little bit of a video, right? And it slices it up, slices, dices, it cuts, it does all the good stuff. It is the Slapchat of videos. So Chrys, is that some thoughts there where you might be able to use a little bit of video to chop it up?
Yeah, so I'm seeing it as a service, as a subscription instead of a software. So it's not a SaaS product.
Right.
So it's really just a smart way of, marketing outsourcing the videos. Well, I do have someone who edits my videos, so I'm not sure if I will need it, but it's great for, I guess it's great for those who don't have a video editor to edit your YouTube videos, or for a show like this, for example.
Yep.
Yeah. And overall, I mean, from a pricing standpoint, let's see. So it's a couple $100 a month. So for example, if you pay $200, so you can do a single chop. It's about $120 a video. So you get one video edit, royalty-free stock audio and video, 48-hour turnaround, one-time fee. Obviously, they add more thirds, transitions, things that also typically cost extra money, and then obviously a 14-day money-back guarantee. So that's like one video. If you want to go up to weekly chops, where you get 4 videos / edits per month, that's $295 a month. And if you want unlimited video requests and revisions, it's $600 a month. But it's actually not that bad if you think about it from a pricing standpoint, because like I said, if you're someone who wants to create more video and you just don't have the time, this is a useful tool. You basically just upload your footage. They then go through, tell them what you want, and they go through and actually do the editing for you. So it's basically
hold on. So what does tell them what you want mean? Does that mean I have to come up with the time signatures and the timestamps of where I want them to cut it? Or does that mean that I tell them I want 7 chops of this video?
No, what it does basically is it's like, hey, I would like to, I'd like to have you guys create a, say it's an intro video, for example, for, something you want to create. And you basically just tell them, hey, this is what I want. Here is the footage that I have. And then they put that together as the intro for you, for example, as your final content. Cool. So it's like it's telling them instructions basically. It's like, hey, I don't have the time necessarily to create the video, or hey, I'm just not a good video editor because I just want to get things built. Kind of like Chrys said, he has somebody on staff that he outsources to. You're basically outsourcing your video editing to Vidchops for a few $100 a month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Chrys, you might not use this, but I might use this. This is pretty cool. Take a look at this, see how this works. And you do get a 14-day trial, so likely they'll cut one video for you to see how it looks. And if it works for you, it's probably worth putzing around with. So Christian dropped a link for us. Take a look at Vidchops, see what you think about it. Cool tool.
Second tool we have for the week. Oh, and by the way, you can get Vidchops by going to socialchefs.com/go/Vidchops. So I'll pull that up real quick here for you just to make it easier for you. So if you're listening, super easy to go type that in, or you can catch it on the live video. So that's tool number 1, Vidchops. Okay, tool number 2. Phil, what do we have? Tool number 2. What tool do we have?
Tool number 2 is Hopin, the first platform for planning and hosting online events. Hopin, or Hopin, if you pronounce it that way. So what you can do is you can create an online event in just minutes and get engagement in your community. You can sell tickets, get sponsors. It's really great for speakers, event coordinators, and businesses that want to host engagement-driving events. So pretty cool tool here. And on AppSumo, it's a whole $60. So it's probably worth putzing around with. So Christian, did you sign up for this for us?
We do have this. Yes, we have this, and we're actually working on implementing it. This is actually a really cool tool. So I want to kind of talk about what it does. So basically what Hopin is, as Phil mentioned, it basically does this. For people that want to run an event, you can run a full online event directly through Hopin as the platform. Now, it's $60, but the other thing you do have to keep in mind with a tool like this, it's $60, and then and this is true of other platforms that also provide, say it's Zoom or some of the other platforms. What you do basically is you can have a stage where hey, this could be the keynote, and then it can go into say a private session It can then do some online networking as well with people. So it cuts out the travel aspect, obviously, with a lot of events. But from a cost standpoint, there is some stuff they do add. They do add some additional fees, which they're typical of any kind of platform like this, because they're doing all the hosting for you. You literally just create your event, do all that through Hopin. So they do sell like multiple codes, so like $59. And then if you go up higher into more codes, it basically reduces, it increases the number of free registrations you get, but it also reduces the commission that they keep per ticket that you sell. But that's, like I said, that's typical of just about every online platform like this. So very, very, very cool tool. I did a demo of that last week, and it was amazing. So like I said, we're looking forward to implementing it, but definitely something to check out. And this is a really good price for Hopin.
Yeah, amazing price. Price. Chrys, is this something you'd use?
Oh my God. So it's so funny you guys have brought this up, because I was just looking into it. So last year in 2018, I actually ran 5 different online conferences. And when I found out about Hopin, I was like, hold on a second, this is awesome, because it's so much more than just people, watching the videos and that's it. Now they actually get to interact with other people, basically just replicate the experience that you'll get at like an in-person event. And so I have actually not tried it. I was like, this is on my list of things to do today, actually, to go sign up. That's a trial. You can go sign up for it and see if you like it before you go into AppSumo and buy it. So I think that's great. I kind of feel like the commission's a little bit high. It's like 12% if I'm not wrong, or 11%.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, per ticket sold. So you really you got to charge more. And I think you only get to give away 20 free tickets, for example. So if you're planning on running, your conference for free, that might be an issue, because then you can't, you have to sell it. So I think that might be a problem for those who want to do the free stuff and then do the upselling of the all access pass, for example, which could also be another issue, I guess, with this platform, where if you want to do the free route and then upsell to it, like an all access pass for the conference, I'm not sure how you actually do it within the platform itself.
There's a lot of stuff they're actually working on. It was a question that came up this week. But I will say, from a fee standpoint,
can you download the videos, Christian?
Yes, you do get download access, yes. And they're in, let's see, I think they're 720p at the moment. And again, from a pricing standpoint, like you get 25 free registrations per month. And by the way, this is per month. This is a lifetime deal. So you get 25 registrations. If you do their 10 code package, it gives you 250 free registrations. And that commission actually drops by about 5%, down to 7%. But like Chrys said, you could actually build this into your product as well. And that is actually, I want to kind of speak to that real quick. So like offering a free, for example, webinar or free training versus offering a paid one, when you offer a free one, the percentage of people that actually show up, it's typically very low. And so when you actually have people put up real money to this, it doesn't have to be a very expensive webinar that you run. You typically will have more people show up. So I think it's definitely something to check out. Like I said, something we're actually working on. So this is going to be a very good platform, I think.
Awesome. So, lots of good stuff here. Great opportunity for folks to test out a platform and to see for $60, right? Even if you just use it one time and you get 10 leads and you close one piece of business, it's worth the $60 investment. So I encourage folks, if you're thinking about doing online events, this is one that you want to check out. So check out Hopin. Christian dropped a link there. It'll also be in our socialchefs.com/daily. We'll talk about that because we're going to be hosting an event. So get ready for this, folks. Stay tuned. Make sure you sign up. You're going to see some fun stuff.
And by the way, speaking of that, you mentioned it's $60. The other thing it also has is if you go through that link we posted, you do get a 60-day money-back guarantee as well with it. So you can use it for 60 days, decide if you like it, decide if you don't like it, and then decide if you want to keep it or not, or get your money back. So well worth the investment for the $59. So with that, I don't have any more topics to talk about. I know we talked about like getting back to Chrys from a messenger bot standpoint. Did you want to go back to that, Phil?
Yeah, absolutely. So Chrys, we talked a little bit about some don'ts. So give us some good tips for, if I'm getting started, this is going to be my first messenger bot. Give us some tips for how we should get started with a messenger bot, at least thinking about it.
Yeah, I think the first thing you got to ask yourself is, why do you even want to have a chatbot to begin with? Right? I think all of us get so excited with every new marketing channel or every marketing channel out there. You want to be on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and so on and so forth. So this is what I always ask people when they're like, "Oh, this sounds awesome." I'm like, "Okay, do you even need it to begin with?" Right? Like, so think about, why are you even thinking about having a Facebook Messenger chatbot? It could be if you're struggling to convert a lot of people, on your list. So maybe you have a problem with low conversion rate, and that could be just, the fact that you might be just selling. You're not building a relationship. So we know that when you build a relationship, when you engage your audience, it will increase your conversion rate. So that could be one. If you're struggling with providing fast customer support, maybe you're a solopreneur, maybe you've got a team, but everyone's busy. So that could be one. If you want to kind of add a little bit more automation, for your business. So think about why, and then from there you kind of know what bot to begin with, building, right? So is it going to be a lead generation, lead qualification? Is it going to be a customer support bot? So what exactly you want to focus on first, right? So from there, go check out, and like I said, go check out and read up. Facebook has a great article, great page on all the terms of services. Read through them, make sure that you got them all right, and make it fun. I think this is a very fun platform. Use GIFs, use audio, use, short copy, and just try to add a little bit more, fun emojis and all that stuff. Just kind of make this more fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And Christian, you got any questions about bots here, or can we share where we can find Chrys?
I think overall, from a bot standpoint, I will say this: we recommend trying out ManyChat. Chrys, do you have any platform recommendations?
Oh no, I'm a partner of ManyChat, so yeah, so definitely ManyChat. That's the tool or the platform that I recommend. They have a great team. They've got a great Facebook group as well. So if you guys are thinking of doing it yourself, go check out their Facebook group. I think you join the community, and not just getting all the support that you'll get with regards to the technical part, but also just seeing like the ideas that people have, and all the updates that come with this marketing channel, because Facebook is constantly updating their platform every day. We're doing this like every single week, so they've got new stuff coming in. Same for Messenger as well. So they've got new stuff. They roll out new stuff. They take away stuff and all that. So join the Facebook group. ManyChat has a Facebook group. Yeah. Yep,
definitely. And kind of as y'all mentioned, you need to start with your why. Why do you need a messenger bot for your business? And then I think also, like, if you're not sure, like, hey, what kind of bots do I build? Check out other pages. For example, look at your competitors. When you go to their Facebook page, do they hit you with the Manibot? Do they hit you with a messenger bot? Opt-in. Like they say, hey, type whatever to sign up for our messenger bot, and then kind of like watch it how it kind of unfolds. A lot of that's built directly with these tools, and these tools you don't have to be a programmer. You don't have to be really technical. It's a fantastic tool to really test out. So with that, I want to say, big thank you, Chrys, for being a guest this week. Dropping all the messenger bot tips. For those of you, if you started watching the show, like if you're going to tap into, like, say, for example, Facebook's responsive ads feature, I want to ask you if you can leave a question or just send us, a tweet, for example, at Social Chefs, and let us know how many different ad type headlines you think you're going to actually start testing. You don't just want to run 1 to 2, maybe run 3, maybe, Phil? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, right? I'd say 3 or 4, right? Because you need to, I recommend, you think about this as a month, right? And you iterate, and eventually you run your winner, right? You run your winner into the ground. That's the whole goal. And after a month, people get ad blind. You need to come up with more creative. So absolutely, I think that's got some great possibilities on that. And Chrys, if we're going to run those, right, and we're going to use a bot, do you have a bot we can test out?
Do I have my own personal bot?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I
Where
do,
would
of course.
we find that?
So go onto my website, or I'll encourage you guys to go check out my lead qualification bot. So this is what people have to go through before they get to book a strategy call with me. So it's chrysmedia.com/strategy call. And just answer a couple of questions in the bot itself. And yeah, so you can see how it is and how it flows. But yeah, I absolutely agree with Christian. Go check out a couple of different bots. Like airlines have great bots to help people kind of get information about their flights. Pinterest has a great bot that helps people get inspiration and pinspiration in the chat bot itself. So there's a lot of things you can do with a chat bot.
Can you remind the URL again? It's
chrysmedia.com/strategy call.
Okay, so I'm going to drop this in the chat as well here. If we get it right, if it's not right, we'll go back and edit it. But definitely worth checking out. So with that, Chrys, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so like you said, I've got a podcast. It's called Hack Your Online Business Podcast. You can find it on iTunes. where else? On Spotify. So
Okay.
go check it out. I interview successful online entrepreneurs once a week, every single Monday.
Okay.
And if you want to, go check out my website, it's chrismedia.com. And of course, you can connect with me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at This Is Chrys Tan.
Fantastic.
Thank
So,
you
Phil,
so much, guys.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. Really, really solid stuff.
So any parting thoughts you want to share, Phil, with viewers?
Well, so I'd say we talked about Twitter, Facebook, right? Slippery slope here. What I would say is we got to be really careful. We really got to think about what is truth, what is not. Be a discerning consumer as well as a discerning business owner. Speak the truth. Don't be full of crap. And it's okay to take a stand. I don't agree with Facebook. I like what Twitter's doing. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. That's the stand that I'm taking. And I encourage you as a business to take a non-political stand as well. But do talk about policies that you disagree with, because policies make a difference. People, not so much.
So with that, I want to let everybody know we'll have a blog post recap going out tomorrow. That's available at socialchefs.com/SC215. That'll also give you access to, so we got the blog post recap. We have the Alexa flash briefing for those of you who only want to listen for like 10 minutes. We also have the podcast as well for those of you who like to listen on the go. And also, we will be joined next week by our guest, Jamie Cohen. That's going to be next Thursday. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here on Facebook, facebook.com/socialchefs or youtube.com/socialchefs. Chrys, absolute pleasure having you on. Phil, always a pleasure having you back. So thanks a lot, everyone, for listening. And we will see you all next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.
See ya.